But I think most parents need to take a step back, look at the big picture, look at the market, look at what it's doing, look at the warning signs that we're seeing here with unaffordability just screaming in our faces here. So if you are a parent and you are throwing money at your kids to help them purchase their first home, understand you might be throwing this money away if the market takes a step back and tries to normalize and make itself more affordable to everybody else. Waiting for the perfect time to buy a home? What if I told you that time was a lot closer than you might think? My name is Mike Carpino. Today we're going to dive into an article. We're going to break down what is happening in the real estate market, why waiting for these interest rates to go lower might be a big risk to you as a potential home buyer in the future. I help families just like you every single week from YouTube navigate this difficult real estate market. And if you are in need of my assistance in this market, click that first link in the description, book a 30-minute consultation call with me, and I'd be happy to help you navigate the market. If you don't want to book a call, just check out the contact information right in the description box below and we can get you started here. So today what we're going to do is we're going to dive into an article from stories.com and really pull it apart and see what is going to happen if these interest rates do drop in the near future, and how can you mitigate your risks if you are a home buyer. Is it better for you to buy before these rates drop, or should you wait till after they drop? In the article, we're going to get to all of that, and at the end of it, I'm going to break down for you what I think the pros and the cons are for you to make your decision to move before or after we see these interest rates drop. So let's dive into the article here from stories.com. Now, today's article is titled "Huge Number of Home Buyers Are Holding Out for the Interest Rates to Drop." As we know, news articles, the headline is just to catch your attention, so let's see what it has to say. So according to the BMO Real Financial Progress Index, a huge number of aspiring homeowners are waiting for interest rates to drop before they decide to enter the real estate market. Now, this article was just a few days ago on April 29th, so very, very recent article. So while Canada housing market has definitely softened after its red-hot pandemic-inspired run, resulting in some lower home prices from coast to coast, so all across Canada we've seen this, the country's sky-high interest rates have rendered it officially the toughest time to purchase a home in the country's history. That says quite a bit. Inflation and deflatingly high costs of living are certainly factors that are not helping here. So while rates remain high, although no longer rising, the economists forecast that the Bank of Canada could begin to drop its overnight lending rate in the second half of the year. So countless would-be buyers are sitting on the sidelines waiting for this potential drop to happen. New data from BMO economists underscores this in particular. The BMO Real Financial Progress Index reveals the majority, 72% of aspiring home buyers are waiting until interest rates drop before purchasing a home. 4% increase from 2023. So from 2023 to 2024, it's only been a slight increase. There was a lot of people waiting in 2023 as well. And from rising concerns about the cost of living, 58% of people are experiencing that. And the cost of inflation, 56% of people are worried about that. And the overall financial situation, people are worried about it 38% according to the survey. So over the past 3 months of the people that were surveyed, 13% of these aspiring homeowners plan on purchasing a home in 2024. And 26% plan on doing so in 2025 or later. So there's potentially surveying people who are just looking at things a lot further down the road. Maybe they're just starting to look at real estate right now as an investment. So while Canada's central bank left interest rates unchanged in April, as widely expected, they hinted that the possibility of a rate cut could come sooner and as soon as the summer. So demographic forces have allowed some pent-up demand to be built, and market psychology is such that many are expecting rate cuts in the second half of the year, says Robert Kavik, senior economist at BMO. This should pull some demand from the sideline and firm up the housing activity slightly, but rates have a long way to fall before it is considered more normal for people to buy a home with these current rates. So there's some positive news for Canadians in the midst of the current climate. BMO Real Financial Progress has found that 85% of Canadians believe that they're making real financial progress, and over 2/3, so 67% of people, feel confident in their financial situation. However, the fear of the unknown expenses, 84% of people, and their concerns about the overall financial situation, 81%, and housing costs, 74%, are among the leading sources of financial anxiety. To me, when I see these numbers, I actually think that they're quite high. When I talk to people, they are not that confident about their current financial situation, so I'm not sure who they're talking to. It's obviously not homeowners, and anybody who owns a home is not feeling that confident about their financial situation. Let's just be honest right now, especially if you bought your first home and you're on your first 5-year term still. The New Canadian Dream, titled here, according to the survey, top concerns affecting Canadians' home buying decisions include the inevitability of redefining the Canadian dream as their parents knew it. While 62% believe owning a home is one of the biggest aspirations that you can have in life, 56% of aspiring homeowners feel that home ownership is just unattainable at this point. Another consideration includes pent-up demand among 39% of aspiring homeowners planning to purchase a home in the near future. Only 13% plan on doing it this coming year. So of that 72% of homeowners who are, ready to hop off the fence, it's not a big portion of them that are ready to take action right now. 26% plan on doing so in 2025 or later. And the cost of home ownership is another major consideration, with 41% of respondents saying that the rising home insurance costs may impact the ability to maintain or buy a home. Not only the home insurance costs rising, I think a lot of people who don't own a home have no idea what the additional costs are going to be. Just the maintenance of a property. What if something goes wrong? What if there's a leak? What if you need a roof repair? What if you need a new furnace or air conditioner? Would-be home buyers are very green, and a lot of them can have no idea what the potential expenses that they're going to have to incur are. So there needs to be some education there as well. Some of them may understand that, but some of them probably don't as well. So with that said, despite the current climate, the next generation still has some high hopes for home ownership, albeit it was a low percentage of people out of that 72, and they might just be approaching it differently than previous generations, and they're forced to approach it differently because the cost of everything has exponentially raised up, not just homes themselves. So despite the concerns about the economy and the cost of living, millennials, 70%, and Gen Z, 68%, are most likely to believe owning a home is a big aspiration in life. They are, however, realistic about the timelines. While over half of Gen Z and millennial aspiring homeowners plan on purchasing a home in the future, and 33% of Gen Z, 37% of millennials believe the goal will not be achieved until 2025 or later. So 1 to 3 year time frame potentially. This is more than any other generation. Furthermore, they are not doing it entirely on their own. This is a big issue, and we'll dive into this after we finish the article. In today's economy, young homeowners need all the help that they can get. This is where the parents are starting to come into play. For Gen Z and millennials, they're going to receive some kind of financial help from their parents or grandparents, with 16% of Gen Z, 12% of millennials looking for support towards a down payment of a home. I'm not a fan. We'll talk about it further, like I just said. So parents of millennials, 54%, are the most likely to provide some of this financial support to take their adult children and help them purchase their first home, including a cash contribution towards a down payment potentially, or we've seen clients getting help on the cosign side of things. We're also seeing parents contribute to their child's first home savings account. Despite the economic market challenges, there's still many young Canadians preparing to embark on the home buying journey and enter the real estate market for the first time, says Hassan, Personal Lending Home Advising in BMO. So respondents also had concerns about the environment, with 39% of Canadians saying that the climate-related factors such as wildfires, floods, heat waves, storms will affect where they choose to live in the next 5 years. This was 54% of Gen Z, 49% of millennials, and most are likely to prioritize climate-related factors in their home buying decisions. Finally, the current economy has Canadians re-examining their refinancing decisions. Nearly 3/4, 75% of homeowners who plan to refinance their home say they will wait until the mortgage rates drop before doing so. They may wait, but they may not have a choice as well, depending on when their mortgage is up for refinance. As for those sky-high interest rates, they're not only taking a toll on home buyers' plans, but they're impacting the construction of new homes as well. making it expensive to build. And we've already talked about this in our previous video, which I will link right here. There are some immediate concerns revolving around the condo market. We had 60 canceled projects. Watch that video up here. Feel free to click that after you've completed this video with me here. So now that we've finished the article here, a couple things I really want to address. Number one is being the parental help when it comes to buying your first home. If you can't afford it yourself and you're relying on supplementary income coming in, whether it's to qualify for the home or down payment assistance from your parents, my concern here is if you're getting this help, it's fantastic, it's great. As a parent, I want to help as much as I can. I don't want to enable though. So what I'm finding is parents are assisting their children to get into a home, get into their first home through one of these means, but then the child might not have enough income, or they might not actually understand all the expenses that come along with owning a home. And it's going to put them in a position where they are just going to be more financially strapped than they need to be. I am definitely more of the mindset of don't buy unless you can buy without any outside help. Obviously, that's not always the case. There are some situations where maybe you can make a monthly payment with no issue, but you don't have that down payment saved up. If that's the case, maybe you go this route. But I think most parents need to take a step back, look at the big picture, look at the market, look at what it's doing, look at the warning signs that we're seeing here with unaffordability just screaming in our faces here. So if you are a parent and you are throwing money at your kids to help them purchase their first home, understand you might be throwing this money away if the market takes a step back and tries to normalize and make itself more affordable to everybody else. Second thing I want to talk about here is the pros and the cons of getting into the market today versus when we see these rates decrease. So today, it is May. If we buy something in the market today before the rates decrease, the advantage for us is you're not competing with nearly as many buyers because, as the article states here, 72% of buyers are sitting on the sidelines waiting for the rates to drop. Why don't you be one of those 28% who's going to take action now instead of having to compete with a massive pool of buyers when the rates do drop? And I'm talking a little bit. If the rates drop only 25 basis points, 0.25, we're going to see people hop into the market because they think this is the start of the rates coming down quickly, but they don't understand it's a slow process. We might only see the rates come down a couple percent over the next few years if we're lucky. So I don't think we're going to see all of a sudden, a ski slope here. We're going to see a slow burn like you're walking down a hill at a gradual pace when it comes to the way these rates are going. So if you're able to get in the market before we see this potential rate drop, you're going to put yourself in a better situation. There's definitely going to be a spike in the market the moment we hear Bank of Canada has dropped the rates. We will see inventory shoot right up because sellers that have been waiting are going to be excited to maybe have more buyers out there, and then buyers are going to go jumping for joy because they've saved 0.25%. However, ultimately, your mortgage payments aren't going to change very much. So there's two ways to do this. If you want to take action ahead of time, you decide if you want to go with a fixed or a variable rate mortgage. You talk to your mortgage specialist. We have in-house mortgage specialists who can walk you through the benefits of either or. You take a look at what your fixed rate is at the time of purchase, figure out the difference between going that route and going the variable route, and then make your best assumption what the rates will look like in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. And are you going to be saving more money going with the lower fixed rate today, hoping that the variable doesn't catch up to that? Or are you going to go with the variable thinking that maybe in the next 3 years it decreases enough where you've actually taken the better opportunity? Depending on your situation and your day-to-day life, if you have a family, if you make steady income or for your commission-based sales, you might just want to have one number coming out of your account every month. Or if you're like myself and it's commission-based, every month is going to have a different flow, so you're not too worried about going the variable route because everything else is sporadic in your accounts as well. Those would be the ways for you to potentially handle it if you wanted to do it on the pro side. On the con side, it's pretty obvious. If there's 72% of people waiting for the rates to drop, whether it's immediate action from them or in the next 6 to 12 months, there's a lot of people who are going to hop off that fence that are just hanging out there waiting for the rates to drop. If you're competing with these people, they're going to get silly because they're not logical. They're not thinking from the wide lens that you should be. 0.25% doesn't make a difference at all. So if that's the case, these people are going to get into bidding wars. They're going to overpay for properties. They're going to find themselves in this spike in the market where they're going to buy for one price, and in 6 months the market might slip a little bit further back because that is just a blip in the radar. That would be my biggest concern, and that would be the con of waiting for the rates to drop. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Would you buy before the rates drop? Would you buy after the rates drop? Or are you just not buying at all in today's real estate market? My name is Mike Carpino. If you want to talk real estate with me one-on-one, you can hit me with the first link in the description. We can hop on a 30-minute call. If you have a comment, drop it in the comment section down below. Happy to have that conversation and engage the community here. And once again, if you want to get more information on that last video where the condo developments are struggling right now, click that next video. That'll be right here on your left-hand side. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye for now.